Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Oscars, or more specifically we're going to be looking at the ratings for the Oscars. Now, before we get to the actual ratings, I just want to talk a little bit about the Oscars themselves, or more specifically my own feelings towards the Oscars. The thing is, I have stopped caring about the Oscars for years now. I haven't been interested at all. I used to be really interested. I used to look forward to them for I think maybe about I think it's been about 6 years now since I've actually given a damn. But yeah, I used to really look forward to them every year. I look forward to knowing what movie, won Best Picture, what movie won what are the best actor, best actress, and just I used to look forward to it every single year. I really did. But as time went on, I started to lose interest. Even before this year, even before 2020, even before all the woke shit started happening, I just lost interest. However, one thing that we have been calling out when it comes to Hollywood on this channel, and not just me, but so many of us have been calling out for a long time, is the fact that Hollywood has gone out there in the last few years and tried to put on this image of caring. And now, what exactly do I mean by that? I mean that they have gone out there and they have tried to make it seem like they are a company that actually cares about people and what they care about. They made it seem like they actually cared about minorities. They made it seem like they actually cared about LGBTQ people. They made it seem like they actually just cared about them. And they'll go out there and they'll say that, the reasons why we are starting to put more and more people, like more and more LGBTQ people, or LGBTQ characters, I guess I should say, and more minority characters in our films and our TV shows and our, I guess you could say, our comics and our books. The reason why we're doing that is because we care and because we want these people to be represented. But one thing that I and so many of us have been calling out is the fact that Hollywood, everything that they have been saying has been nothing but a bunch of bullshit. It's all BS. These people don't actually care. They don't care about minorities. They don't care about LGBT people. They don't care about them. They don't care about seeing you represented. All they care about is getting your money. That's all they care about. That's the only reason why they're doing this. And when we started calling this out, other people have been saying that, oh, we're just being a bunch of ists, we're just being a bunch of foes, we just don't want to see these people represented in media, when in reality that couldn't be farther from the truth. The thing is, the people like us who have been calling out this crap for years, none of us actually care about whether or not a movie or a TV show or a book or a comic book, we don't care if it has LGBT people. We don't care if it has people of color. We don't care if it has. We don't care about who is in the book, who is in these stories that we consume. All we care about is whether or not it's entertaining, and whether or not you have these people in for the right reasons. Now, if you want to represent people who are LGBTQ or people of color or minorities, if you want to represent them, then the best way to do that is to put them into whatever story that you're writing, and you make them into actual characters. That is all we ask for. That is all we have been asking for. The reasons why we have had problems with Hollywood and their interpretation of these people is that they don't make them into actual characters. They just use them as vehicles. They just use them because they want to virtue signal. This is what we have been calling out for years. Okay, we have been calling out Hollywood and their hypocrisy, and specifically the hypocrisy because a lot of the people who do call out Hollywood for their crap happen to be minorities, happen to also be members of the LGBTQ, and yet despite that, people who defend Hollywood seem to ignore that. They always ignore it. They say, oh no, it's not happening. Oh, it's just a bunch of white males. When again, in reality, that's not the case. And the thing that's been happening lately that I think is absolutely fantastic is that more and more people are starting to wake up to this fact. More and more people are starting to realize that Hollywood does not care. And I think that we have been seeing that we've seen a lot of evidence of this, because we have been seeing a lot of shows, a lot of movies lately that are obviously pandering to those people, and those shows do poorly. And the biggest example right now is the Oscars. Now, let's look at the ratings for the Oscars. Now, you probably already have an idea because you can probably see it on screen, but let's go ahead and take a look at the ratings, not just for this year, but for the years before. Let's just take a look at the ratings, okay? These are the ratings for the Oscars. You can see there is a significant drop from 2020 to 2021. Let's go back all the way to 2014. 2014 saw 43.7 million people tune in to watch the Oscars. And then cut to next year, 2015, you can see it drops a little bit to 37.2 million. At the very least, at least 6 million people lost. Okay, it's a drop, but it's not too much. And then you go to 2016, and it goes to 34.4 million, a little over 3 million viewers lost. Again, it sucks, but still, like it's not that big of a drop off. And then you go to 2017, it loses about 0.6 million viewers, if my math is correct. About 0.6 million viewers, so a little less than a million viewers lost. Then you cut 2018, and it's down to 26.6. Now a little over 4 million. A little over 4 million lost. But then you go to 2019, and it actually jumps up a bit. Jumps up by it got back about 3 million viewers. Then you cut to 2020, and it loses a little over 6 million viewers at 23.6 million. Now again, when you look at from 2014 to 2020, you can see it keeps dropping, but not by much. In fact, in 1 year, it actually goes back up before it drops back down again. But you look at 2021, and it's at 9.8 million. It didn't even crack 10 million viewers. It lost over 58% of viewers. 58%, and that's mostly because people have lost interest. People are starting to wake up to the fact that not only is Hollywood fake, but it's also indicative of what a lot of us have been saying recently, which is the fact that people are just sick and tired of Hollywood. They're tired of Hollywood. They're tired of them constantly just using their movies and TV shows to virtue signal, and have just decided to leave. They decided to look towards other means of entertainment. They look at people on YouTube. They look at people who are out there making their own comics, writing their own books. People out there making their own movies. People are out there probably trying to make their own TV shows, because they're sick and tired of waiting for Hollywood to pull their heads out of the sand and to realize that what they've been doing for the past few years just isn't working anymore. People are tired of the virtue signaling. They're tired of it. They're tired of you not putting entertainment first. They're sick of it. And if you want proof of that, let me just ask you something. And this is a challenge. Now, again, no cheating, but I want you in the comments to tell me, what of any of the movies that were nominated in this year's Oscars, especially for Best Picture, have you actually watched? Because I can tell you right now, I haven't watched any of them. In fact, I never even heard of any of these movies. Tell me in the comments, which of them did you actually watch? I'm willing to bet the majority of you didn't even watch any of them. And that's mostly because nobody cares. No one cares anymore. Nobody cares about the Oscars. No one cares about these movies anymore. No one cares about these movies that are only interested in basically telling you that you're a bad person. Like, why would someone want to sit down for 2 hours and have someone else just tell them that they suck? that they're a piece of shit. Why would anyone want to do that? No one wants that. And you can see the proof of that right there. More and more people are waking up. And I'm loving it. I love seeing this. Now, as usual, what's going to happen is what always happens. You're going to see the usual articles from the usual media outlets they're going to go out and say, oh, this only happened because this and this. It'll be the usual. They're going to try to defend it. They're going to say, oh, it's because of the flu. But 2020 also had the flu, and yet it still got more viewers. Even in 2020, the viewership didn't drop by much. And yet you look at 2021. What's your excuse? They don't have an excuse. There is no excuse. It is what it is. People are sick and tired of it. They're tired of the bullshit. And they're leaving. And they're not coming back. Some of them might come back. If they hear that Hollywood has finally pulled their heads out of the sand and they're going back to just making entertainment, maybe some of them will come back, but most people, that habit's been broken. They don't care anymore. They don't care about Hollywood. They don't need you anymore. They can easily make their own shit. They can make their own stories. They can sit down and all they got to do is open up a document and they can just start writing their own stories. They don't need you anymore. It's done. It's over. But those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you like what I do here, remember, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves as always, and please join me for the next video. Bye for now.